Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be exploring one of the most fascinating questions about Russia: why is it so damn big? As a geography enthusiast, I've always been intrigued by the vastness of Russia, and in this video, we're going to dive deep into the history, geography, and strategic importance of this massive country. We'll also look at some of the challenges facing Russia and what the future may hold. So, if you're curious about this topic, be sure to stick around until the end. So, whether you're a geography buff, a history enthusiast, or just someone who is curious about the world, this video is for you. Let's get started. Geography and history. Russia's size can be attributed to a combination of geography and history. The country spans across Europe and Asia, covering more than 1/8 of the Earth's land area. It includes a vast range of landscapes, from forests to mountains to tundra. The Ural Mountains, which run from north to south, are often considered the traditional boundary between Europe and Asia. West of the Urals, Russia is part of the European continent, while to the east, it is part of the Asian continent. The country's climate varies widely, from the Arctic conditions of Siberia to the mild winters of the Black Sea coast. The history of Russia is characterized by expansion, conquest, and colonization. In the 16th and 17th centuries, Russia expanded eastward, conquering vast territories and establishing colonies in Siberia. This expansion was driven by a desire for resources such as furs, timber, and precious metals. It also helped to create a buffer zone between Russia and the Mongol and Chinese empires to the east. In the 18th and 19th centuries, Russia continued to expand, gaining control over the Caucasus, Central Asia, and Alaska. The conquest of the Caucasus allowed Russia to gain access to the Black Sea and the Mediterranean, while the colonization of Central Asia provided access to the rich resources of the region. The acquisition of Alaska in 1867 was driven by a desire for more land and resources, but ultimately proved to be a costly mistake for Russia. The expansion of Russia continued into the 20th century, with the annexation of Crimea in 2014 being the most recent example. However, many of the territories gained during the country's history of expansion have been a source of tension with neighboring countries, particularly in areas like the Caucasus and Central Asia. In addition to expansion and conquest, Russia's history has been shaped by periods of political and social upheaval. The Russian Revolution of 1917, which led to the establishment of the Soviet Union, was a turning point in the country's history. The Soviet era saw rapid industrialization and modernization, but also repression and authoritarian rule. Today, Russia is a federal republic with a complex political system and a mixed economy. The country's vast size and resources continue to play a significant role in its politics, economy, and global standing. Strategic importance. Russia's large size and geographic position make it a strategically important country in many ways. For one, it serves as a land bridge between Europe and Asia, connecting these two regions both physically and economically. Russia also has access to both the Arctic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, giving it a unique position in global shipping and trade. In terms of military strategy, Russia's size and geography have made it a target of invasion and conquest throughout history. As a result, the country has often sought to expand its territory and establish buffer zones to protect its borders. For example, during the Cold War, the Soviet Union maintained a sphere of influence over Eastern Europe and Central Asia, creating a buffer zone between itself and Western Europe. Today, Russia remains a major military power, with the second largest military budget in the world after the United States. The country's vast size and natural resources also make it an important player in global energy markets. Russia is the world's largest producer of oil and natural gas, and the revenue generated from these exports has played a significant role in the country's economy and political influence. However, Russia's strategic importance has also made it a source of tension with other countries. For example, its annexation of Crimea in 2014 led to economic sanctions from the West and heightened tensions with neighboring Ukraine. Russia's involvement in conflicts in Syria and the Caucasus has also drawn criticism from some international observers. In terms of international relations, Russia has often sought to assert its influence on the global stage, particularly in its relations with the United States and Europe. This has led to a number of high-profile conflicts, such as the annexation of Crimea and allegations of interference in the 2016 US presidential election. Overall, Russia's strategic importance is rooted in its vast size, strategic location, and natural resources. While this has given the country significant power and influence in global affairs, it has also made it a source of tension and conflict with other countries. Population and diversity. Russia's vast size and long history have led to a diverse population, with a variety of ethnic, linguistic, and religious groups. The largest ethnic group is Russian, accounting for around 80% of the population, followed by Tatars, Ukrainians, Bashkirs, Chuvash, and Chechens, among others. Russia's diversity is reflected in its many languages, with Russian being the most widely spoken language, followed by Tatar, Bashkir, Chuvash, and other regional languages. In addition, there are many minority languages spoken throughout the country, including languages of the Finno-Ugric, Turkic, and Mongolic language families. Religion is also an important aspect of Russian culture and society. The majority of Russians identify as Orthodox Christians, with smaller numbers of Muslims, Buddhists, and Jews. The Russian Orthodox Church has played an important role in the country's history and culture, and continues to be a significant cultural institution today. However, Russia's diversity has also led to tensions and conflicts, particularly in relation to the country's many minority groups. In recent years, there have been reports of discrimination and violence against ethnic and religious minorities in Russia, particularly in regions such as Chechnya. In addition, Russia's population is facing a number of demographic challenges. The country has a low birth rate and a high mortality rate, leading to a shrinking population. This demographic trend is particularly pronounced in rural areas, where many young people are leaving for cities or other countries in search of better opportunities. Despite these challenges, Russia's population remains a key factor in the country's identity and culture. The country's size and diversity have contributed to a rich cultural heritage, with a wealth of literature, art, music, and other forms of creative expression. Furthermore, Russia's population also plays an important role in its economy. The country has a highly educated workforce, with a strong tradition of scientific and technological innovation. However, there are also significant disparities in wealth and opportunity between different regions of the country, with some areas experiencing high levels of poverty and unemployment. Overall, Russia's population and diversity are complex and multifaceted aspects of the country's identity. While they have contributed to a rich cultural heritage and a highly educated workforce, they have also led to tensions and conflicts, particularly in relation to ethnic and religious minorities. As Russia continues to grapple with demographic challenges and disparities in wealth and opportunity, its population will remain a key factor in the country's future development. Challenges. Russia faces a range of economic, social, and political challenges that have the potential to impact its future growth and stability. One of the biggest challenges facing Russia is its dependence on natural resources, particularly oil and gas. While these resources have been a key driver of the country's economy, they also make Russia vulnerable to fluctuations in global commodity prices. In addition, the focus on natural resources has led to a lack of diversification in the economy, with other sectors such as manufacturing and services underdeveloped. Another challenge facing Russia is corruption. Corruption is widespread in the country, and it has a negative impact on business and investment. It also contributes to social inequality and undermines public trust in government institutions. The Russian government has taken steps to address corruption, but progress has been slow. In addition, Russia faces demographic challenges. The country has a low birth rate and a high mortality rate, leading to a shrinking population. This trend is particularly pronounced in rural areas, where many young people are leaving for cities or other countries in search of better opportunities. The government has introduced policies to encourage population growth, such as financial incentives for families with multiple children, but the impact of these policies remains to be seen. Russia also faces political challenges, both domestically and internationally. Domestically, there are concerns about the government's restrictions on civil liberties and political opposition. Internationally, Russia has faced sanctions and criticism from other countries over its actions in Ukraine, Syria, and other conflicts. This has had an impact on the country's economy and international relations. Furthermore, Russia faces environmental challenges. The country is home to vast natural resources, but the exploitation of these resources has led to significant environmental damage, including air and water pollution, deforestation, and soil degradation. Climate change is also a growing concern, with melting permafrost and rising temperatures threatening the country's infrastructure and ecosystems. Overall, Russia faces a range of complex challenges that will require innovative solutions and concerted efforts to address. While the country has made progress in some areas, such as reducing poverty and improving healthcare, there is still much work to be done. As Russia continues to navigate these challenges, it will be important for the government and civil society to work together to promote sustainable growth and development. Finally, Russia's size can be attributed to a combination of geography, history, and strategic importance. It has shaped the country's population, diversity, and challenges. Whether you're fascinated by its history, culture, or politics, there's no denying that Russia's size is a defining characteristic of the country. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more videos like this.